have the next, guys, we're going to have the next phase of this pitch. So we are leaving this with renovate, right? Relax. Okay. Yeah, you can start.
Hi, we are Team Renovate and I'm Kelvin. I'm presenting on behalf of my team. So let me walk you through our problem. So think of Kofi, who is a young working professional. He just finished school and he's worked for a couple of years. He's falling in love, he wants to get married, but he wants to make some rentals, some property rentals. He can't do this currently because he currently has to make a 2-year down payment, advance payment, which is too expensive for him. Think of Rejoice, the property owner who has empty houses because it's too expensive for people to make the down payments. So we did some research. And we spoke to 200 professionals and realized that 165 of them were looking for a solution that helped them to make flexible payments instead of the one-time down payment. We spoke to 60 homeowners and we realized that they were not willing to bring down the 2-year down payment. They wanted it upfront. So we came up with a solution that's twofold. We have an online platform that allows people like Kofi, the working professionals, to find property. And we have an offline process where we partner with banks, such as Republic Bank, so that they apply the concept of mortgage to rent. So they pay on behalf of Kofi, and Kofi pays back to them in installments. Now, how do we make money? So for every property owner that signs onto our platform that wants to verify their property, they pay a 50 cents fee. And for every tenant that wants to physically tour a property on the platform, they pay a touring fee, which is 70 cents. Then when it comes to our 10% commission, when the bank is paying on the behalf of Kofi to a homeowner, we take a 10% commission of that transaction. So now what's the market opportunity like? So there's a young population in Ghana. We are currently about 30 million. 8% of us are youth, and we are growing annually. What's happening is that more people are going to need access to property rental services for them. And why are banks willing to partner with us? This is because they are looking for people who they can do financial innovation with. And since they are banks, they have the flexibility to do things such as looking for property and helping people rent. There's currently an adoption of technology, making it easier to deduct money from people's salaries if they should take this advance payment. And currently, property owners are looking for people to fill in their houses. So why are we different from Mikasa? Mikasa is an online platform that helps you to find properties. And with us, besides just finding properties, we help you actually pay monthly instead of the 1-year down payment. Unlike bank loans, we don't take collateral. All you need is a stable job. And unlike real estate agents, we don't have the inflated prices involved. Are we viable? And the answer is yes. Currently, our fixed cost is 89,400. The cost of acquiring one customer is 120 cedis. And the lifetime value of one customer for 2 years is 2,200 cedis. So the profit we make on each customer is 2,000 cedis average in 2 years. We are projected to make 1,400 rentals in 2 years. That's 28 rentals per month. And we expect to break even in the 4th month of the year. And our valuation is around 40 million Ghana cedis, and we are willing to give out 10%. So just to recap, we're actually helping people who cannot afford to make the one-time down payment by helping them spread the cost across the month with the help of our partners who are the bank. Thank you, and Renovate. We don't just make property rentals. We
renovate the experience.
Thank you.
I don't think we need questions. Or do we have any questions for them?
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay. So let's welcome the next team, which is Macro. Yeah.
Hello everyone, this is Agro Entertainment and I'm here with my two friends.
Hi, I'm Felix, currently investing in kind of projects. I'm looking for places where I could purchase units. However, I don't trust the current available options.
Hi, my name is Tom. I just started my national service, and I own a lot of video games I don't play anymore. I would like to sell them to make some quick cash, but I don't know who specifically to sell to.
Thank you, Prince. Thank you, Tom. Intrigued by this problem, my team decided to explore. In exploring, we spoke to over 400 people in a series of questionnaires, surveys, and stakeholder engagement. And we arrived at three core problems. The first one is that 71% of the people we spoke to said they lack market access. The second thing was that 95% of the people we spoke to felt that online transactions were insecure. The final thing was that 89% of the people we spoke to wanted to verify their game, to test their game before they bought them. So we asked ourselves, how big is this problem? The problem is huge because 2.4 million people currently in Ghana are interested in purchasing video game and video game equipment. So what happened? Agro happened. Agro is an online platform that allows for the purchasing and selling of video games and video game equipment. We started our prototype platform where we had added some features and are looking to add more features in the near future. So how will Prince use our platform? Prince will come to the site, look through the catalog of games, and pick a game he wants. Prince will then pay for the game either via mobile money or Visa card, and then Prince receives the game, and we have a happy Prince. So how will Thomas use the website? Thomas will come to our Agro, sign up to be a seller, give a description of the game, and upload details of the game. Once the customer wants to buy the game, the delivery service will pick up the game from Thomas and send it to the customer. After getting the cash, we hold the cash for 24 hours, and if there are no complaints, the cash is sent to Thomas, and Thomas makes some good money. So what exactly is Agro offering to its customers? The first thing Agro is offering is a market. So since Agro is means there's a wider market for more people to be reached. The second thing Agro is offering is security. In the normal transaction process, there's a physical meetup where the buyer meets the seller. There's a chance that an attack can happen from either one of these parties. Agro removes this process and makes it more secure for the customer. The third thing we do is we offer the opportunity to test your games before actually buying your games. Our customer segments are split into two, as I said before, buyers and sellers. So how do we keep and grow our customer base? We get customers mainly through tournaments where we enlist people who are already interested in gaming onto our service. We also plan to use gaming forums and to aggressively use social media to capture more people and increase our customer base. In a bid to retain customers, we plan to use promotions and loyalty codes. For our business model, a large chunk of our revenue comes from 20% commission on all transactions on our platform. Looking at it at a unit breakdown, we incur a cost of about 23 Ghana cedis, generating a revenue of about 97 Ghana cedis, and earning a final profit value of about 74 Ghana cedis. So some resources that enable our growth to work is the website itself, site engineers, and the partners we plan to work with are gaming communities and the delivery service. Our costs mainly comprise of website maintenance and the development of such a platform. And our revenue, as I said earlier on, is mainly from commission and supported by advertising and listing fees. So projections for the month are that we would have sold 320 units of our products within a month, and our projected revenue would have been 40,000 Ghana cedis. Our projected monthly cost would have been 90,000 Ghana cedis, arriving at a projected monthly value of about 22 Ghana cedis. So how does Agro differentiate itself from competitors? We offer three things that our competitors don't, which is security, the ability to test your games, and Agro is the first of this kind, being the only retail platform solely focused on gaming in Ghana. So how do we actually test that Agro is going to work? We first did a landing page, which is to see whether people are actually interested in the idea. The next thing is we conducted a series of tournaments where we got over 100 people attending, showing that there's actually physical proof of people wanting to use Agro. The next thing we did was to mimic the sales process in a physical process where we sold over 2,000 Ghana cedis worth of games, showing that people would actually patronize the Agro. Our company is valued at 2 million Ghana cedis, and we're looking to offer 20% of the company for 400,000 Ghana cedis. Help to help people like Prince and Thomas. Agro, the game never ends, so why don't you invest in us? Thank you very much.
Any questions? No questions. Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Where's this?
Okay. So Insio is ready, so we can present our pitch.
Water is life. This is a nugget of truth most of us grew up believing in. Ladies and gentlemen, when what is supposed to give you life becomes a toxic that kills you, then there is a fundamental problem. Our plastic fields, floods, and aquatic life destruction. Now, this isn't the only thing that actually accrues with regards to plastic waste damages. There is another fundamental problem which is untold, that is attached to also drinking water from plastics, and this has to do with global warming. Now, when heat is rising, human beings perspire. The more that you sweat, the more water you consume. But the catch is, whilst the heat is rising, the leaching rate in plastic bottles and plastic sachets is also increasing, releasing BPA, a cancerous chemical that over a long period of time of consumption can cause health effects on the people consuming it. Now, what we want to do as ISO is to change the culture in which we drink water, not only to remove the excess plastic that is on the continent and on the country which we live in, but also to also reduce the cost, plus also save life and also to save property at the same time. Now, our solution is to create a network of smart refuel stations in controlled environments such as educational institutions, workplaces, and even churches, and also give people the ability to actually track their impact they make on the earth. What we do is we've included an application which is called the Insu app that comes with the service we are providing. That gives users the ability to know the place to find a refuel station, take along their refuel bottles, refill, and also get to be able to track the amount of money and the amount of plastic they save in every reuse that they make with the service that we are providing. Our customer journey is such that our customer will open the application, find the nearest spot, go to the station, and then refill. And after refilling, they're able to know the amount of money that they've saved, plus the amount of plastic that they did as a result of their refilling that particular amount of water from our station. Indeed, we also include benefits that also comes with the gamification process by allowing individuals to feel like they are actually contributing to the nation's development and also to the greenery that is actually at stake currently. The model that we are developing targets specific people, and these are people within universities who are already tech-oriented and young and are adaptable to change, which is why we are targeting University of Ghana, which has a population of 40,000 students to begin with. Now, we are targeting 5% of the population in University of Ghana, and in doing so, we'll be able to actually accrue over 750,000 Ghana cedi in our first year of operations, therefore not only breaking even, but also actually covering all our costs and also ensuring that from the massive traction we gain within the University of Ghana, we'll be able to expand to other universities. One other way we're using to actually cut our costs is the Dish the Plastic campaign. So in every university that we go to, in every place that we actually begin to set up, we roll out a campaign program which we partner with student bodies within that university or within that institution. And we encourage students and people within that university to know the benefits of switching from plastic to refilling. With the model that we are creating, ladies and gentlemen, we only make sure that people get the value of water by in partnering with Water Health International, who is the current 1 cedi that people pay for 500 ml bottle of water. We are able under our model to give the same amount of water for 50 pesos. And in this regard, customers are able to save over 1,000 cedis over a year. These are the things that we are actually going to show to the people that we are educating in these controlled institutions, so that they'll be able to know that over a long period of time, they don't only save money, they also save the planet from the plastic waste and also help themselves with regards to over a long period of time, saving themselves from catching all kind of amount of plastic and track the amount of plastic and track the amount of money that they save at a time, which is something that would also gather the people who we are trying to get onto the platform with regards to social media. Hence, this is the issue that we are giving to investors to invest in an amount of 250,000 cedis so that we can roll over our funds in University of Ghana and then roll out over the years to other places to achieve the maximum impact that we want to do. Thank you very much for your time. This is Yusuf.
Okay. No questions online. So, any questions? So you guys have questions, some questions.
Oh, yes.
Yes, for advice.
Yes, please. Yes, sir. So what equipment are you going to use?
Yes, so currently we designed 2 prototypes. We designed a prototype that has functionality of giving out the water and also translating the amount of water dispensed into the amount of plastic and the amount of money that you save. So we programmed the design, the refill unit in a way where after it releases 500 ml amount of water at a request, it changes the amount into the amount of millitons of plastic that you did, plus the amount of money, which is 50 pesos that you see in every refill. And it also makes you track the consequent refills that you do over the period. And the next one that we've done is with regards to a 3D model of how it will look like. So we had to test the functionality, we had to test the design, because we rolled out an MVP plan where we were testing people's behavior towards using the refill. We realized that people would want to refuel when they realize that it's tamper-proof, because the stronghold of sachet and bottles I see. So it gives people the impression that it is clean, although sometimes they aren't clean, especially with regards to sachet water. So with that knowledge, we kindly designed a 3D model, which isn't here, but it's already done. That is tamper-proof, it's straight, and it reduces human contact from our employees as much as possible, and also gives that. So these are the 2 things we've set up: the smart side of the unit and the unit design itself.
So what recycling do you use?
I'm sorry?
Plastic bottles, recycling, what do you use?
Sorry, I don't think
Right?
Yes, so the refilling we are encouraging is with regards to aluminium or hard plastic refilling. So plastic that is not single use. So far as the container you're using isn't a single use plastic that you ditch because of after using it, then it's something that we encourage in our model. So initially, we also, from our stakeholder engagement, we wanted to create the situation where people can refill with even the bottles that they've used already. So say if I buy a Vital bottle or a Baltic bottle, I can actually, we're trying to make them be able to refill at our station, but we realized that after 2 usages of the plastic bottle, it becomes unhygienic because of the fact that it's exposed to air, which is why we eliminated that aspect of people refilling and encouraging people to use actual reusable bottles to refill at our station. So included in the way in which we get revenue, people will be able to actually get access to reusable bottles at the stations that we are deploying, so that they'll be able to, even if they don't have a reusable bottle immediately from them, they'll be able to get a reusable bottle at our station and refill.
Have you considered the convenience of carrying along?
Yes,
Hard plastic?
indeed.
Just to refill?
Indeed, our model isn't convenient at all from the starters, because of the fact that the stronghold of plastic bottles and sachet is the convenience in which it brings. And that's what makes them actually a very strong rival to us. However, what we are doing is that we are actually making use of people living in a particular space. So we are beginning within educational and controlled spaces where people usually go around those places anyway. So, and one thing they realized also with the University of Ghana is that there aren't hawkers around. You have to actually walk to a shop to actually buy a plastic bottle. So if we strategically position these refill stations in these campuses, then we'll be actually able to make people feel the experience of refilling. The thing is, if you refuel and you realize that you actually saved 50% of getting the same quality of water, you actually think twice about buying plastic bottle later on after having that experience that we are given. And with the app bit that we are introducing, we want to make people addicted because they are already addicted to social media anyway. So including that in the way in which they are already living would make it very easy for them to assimilate drinking and tech together. So that's how we are incorporating tech bits into the model we are creating to just catch customer.
What's the guidance and what?
Yes. Yes. Yes, so there are currently there are two models that we're using. However, in future we're actually planning on to add a third option. There is a cold option, there is a room temperature option, and there is a hot option. But currently we are rolling out the room temperature option and the cold option because they are actually focusing on people who are on the go, students who are very hyperactive, and students who are very active with a lot of metabolic activities going on because of the work they're doing. So they do want something that's chill. And currently, our car is very hot, so people would actually want something that's chill during the afternoons. However, people still want the room temperature one. So we've designed the model to give out cold and room temperature water, but then we have plans of including hot water specifically for lactating mothers as we roll out a plan to filling stations and to even airports as we grow more. So the more we're able to gather the capacity to scale, these are the ways in which we are going to use to increase our presence within Accra.
So the 50% saving, is it on a cold or room temperature?
I'm sorry?
The 50% saving,
Yes.
is it on a cold or room temperature?
That's a very good question. We haven't thought about that.
Definitely.
The cold might be more expensive.
Must be the cold, because the room temperature water with the plastic comes to around the same.
Yes.
And then, I mean, of course, we figured out particular drug for the but then, live in a country where 90%, 90% consumption.
Yep.
Obviously, of course, some people must consider that because, and what want to be
Right.
Education. Okay. That's why I really know about
What it means.
kind of you have to work out. Need somebody say, all people can say, these people can say, and also to the third one, means, I think, so basically, you're looking at what investors do.
Yes.
Unless you look at that, you have 70% of target them.
Yes.
If you look at the one of the inconvenience of carrying it around, creating it's like you want to be sitting as
So the amazing thing is that from our customer engagement, we realize that students actually would want an eco-friendly alternative to drinking water on the go. However, there isn't that alternative available. The only thing available is either you buy a bottle bottle or a sachet. If you are rich, you buy a bottle. If you are a layman, you buy a sachet. So if there is an alternative option whereby they know that they are actually actively contributing towards impact, that's something that they are willing to actually try or have an experience of. And what we want to use to actually capture them when they do experience it is the cost savings that they actually get from using the model that we're doing. And with regards to expanding and getting numbers, what the plan is that we want to create that kind of demand in Legon and then move to other places. So we're going to move to Tech, we're going to move to UDS, we're going to move to Central. So building on those cases, we'll be able to be scaled into high schools, which Ghana International School and International Schools already expressed interest in. But then we want to start within these places where we'll be able to build that kind of demand. And then over time, we'll be able to be commercialized if we have the right structures and logistical feasibility in place.
Thank you so much.